Okay guys, it's time for another update, and let's take you up and show you what we got going on here. We got the newel post in and the handrail all the way up. There we go. And we got a few of the balusters in, and we trimmed a little bit of the stairs out here. I'm going to show you everything that we got going on here. So first, the newel post, it's made out of poplar. We pre-painted that and then brought it up. Now we are going to have to touch the paint up because I'll show you what we did here. We countersunk the screws here. We used pocket screws here, here, and then on the other side to tie it into the stair. Now to cover up the holes where we countersunk them, we made some plugs. Just snap that plug out with a screwdriver, put a little bit of glue on it, tap it in the hole. And then once it's in, take your saw, cut it close, and then you take your sander and you sand it down. All right. Now, for the pocket screw holes that we put in, they actually make a pocket screw hole plug. So that's what we did. Now those set part of the surface, you can see where I sanded it a little bit here. So what you do is after you put a little bit of glue on there, pound those in, and you can sand those flush, and they sand real easy. I was going to try and cut it with the flush cutting saw, and it wasn't working out real well. So I just sanded them, and they sanded down in just not very long, maybe 20-30 seconds. So of course the sander's going to move around a little bit, so we took a little bit of paint off, but that's okay because we have to touch that up anyway. So we will touch that up. We'll just brush some paint on there, put a couple coats on there, and it'll be fine. And then we trimmed the end of the stair treads out with these. So what I did is I got my flush trimming bit, or I'm sorry, my 1/2-inch roundover bit. Use the stair profile here to set the bit depth. And the old pieces of tread that were cut off here, they were cut off. Used those and took the router and routed a corner on it, and then we sanded down the urethane that was spilled over onto this edge. Sanded that down so that the glue would adhere. So we put a little bit of glue in there, some good strong glue, and then we pinned it with some 1-inch brads. Now with the handrail, we got it attached from underneath here, which you can't see because there's 2 screws. There's a 2-inch screw and a 2.5-inch screw going up into here. And for those, we use the pocket screws for those. They have a nice square drive on it, a self-drilling bit, and they're coarse thread. So they'll drill in their own hole and cut their own threads. So that is nice and solid. And then up top, we have another hole here that we'll have to plug. I left that open just so you can see what we're doing here. And there's a mess here. I'm going to explain that in a minute. And this ties it into the wall. This is a 2.5-inch pocket screw. And that's not really a pocket screw hole. It's just a countersunk hole. But I'll tap a plug, not pipe plug, but I'll tap a plug into that, and then cut it flush, and then sand it down. And again, we'll have to touch that up, but that's all part of the deal. Now, notice the mess on the wall here. This plate was over here, and with where we put the newel post, that dictated that this had to be moved over. And when I pulled this off the wall, we had a little bit of damage to the wall, and there's a little bit of damage underneath there that this is hiding. So that dictated us using some drywall compound. So this has the second coat on it. That has to be, we'll probably use a damp sponge on that because it's the last coat that's on there. It's a nice thin coat, and we'll have to touch up the paint on that, and then this will be painted white as well. So we're waiting for all of the drywall work to be done, and yeah, so we're doing good. Now, how did I get the handrail the same height on this side as that side? That way I can cut all the newel posts, or I'm sorry, yeah, not the newel posts, but the balusters. I can cut them all the correct length. Once I have the first and second one cut, then all the other ones are going to be that size. So how do we do that? We got that at about 30 inches high, and this at about 30 inches high. And you notice I still have this on here. I left this on here just to show you This is how I set the height. Step number one was to get it up here, and we put 2 screws in the newel post to hold it into place, and got it up and just drew a pencil mark about 1 foot on the other side of the newel post and cut the excess off. That way it's a lot easier to wrangle. Then we put a piece like this on here, just pinned it in with some 1-inch brads, and we did the same thing on the newel post at the heights that we wanted. So that was the bottom is 30 inches off the deck, off the stair down there, and this is 30 inches off of that stair. All right, so once we did that, we put this on and we extended it out here a little bit, and on the newel post it extended out that way, and we set the railing on, and at that point you could hold it on there pretty easily. It was just resting on those two little brackets that I pinned in there, and they just pop right off. I could actually peel that off with my hand. And then we laid a straight edge on the wall, made a mark, and then that was the mark to cut for our angle. Once we got that angle cut, we bumped that up against the wall, and you're still using that to support it, and came down here and marked that angle. And we got them just about perfect. Okay, nothing's perfect, but they were pretty close. We're doing good. And once that was done, then that's the moment of truth. Then I had to make the final cut there. Now, if I screwed that cut up, it was start all over with brand new material. And we learned a lesson. But turned out it worked out pretty good. I had to pull this forward, or well, backwards this way, about 1/8 of an inch in order to get it to tie in. So yeah, we're literally in this whole deal here only 1/8 of an inch off. So that's not bad at all. Now with the let's go down here. So we got our balusters. There's some that are cut longer and some that are cut shorter. Here's our shorter ones, there's our longer ones. So the idea was to get all these spaces between the balusters exactly the same. And I got it down, it's a less than 1/8 of an inch difference between all these. So the benefit of making sure that this side and that side is the same height is whenever you cut these, basically you make one long one, you set this up, and you cut the length of this one, you make a short one, and I double checked them all the way up, and they were all totally fine. All the spacing was right where we needed it. So at that point, just cut them all. Just cut them. Yeah, just cut them all to the length. So some short ones and long ones. The next one will be a short one here. And what else? Now we got the filler pieces in here. Got 2 1¼ inch brads underneath here, pinning it this way into the handrail. We got 1¼ inch brads tone out in this side and the other side, and then we got a 1¼ inch brad up here pinning this in, actually a 1-inch brad pinning that in. So yeah, we're doing good. But this project is coming along quite nicely. This will be done easily today, probably about another hour's worth of work. We got all the balusters cut, so I didn't want to pre-cut these spacer pieces because just in case there be some little variance in the rise somewhere. These are all exactly the same, but you never know with these old houses. So once we get them in there, they might be shifted this way, 1/16 or 1/8 of an inch, or that way, and so that would dictate that these sizes would change. So I'm not going to pre-cut those. I'll cut them as I go, and yeah, we're doing good. Got the handy dandy light there. So after I get the last baluster in, I'll pull that little bracket off. I just left it really on there so you guys could see what I did there and how I did it, and so I could explain it. And after that, we'll probably tomorrow we'll dam sponge the drywall compound there and do a little touch up with the paint, and then we'll paint the little tie-in piece there that ties the handrail into the wall. Yeah, we're doing good. So we still have a lot of work to do yet after this. A lot of busy work. We have all the trim to put around there and down along here and along the steps. So I'm probably not going to do a video on that. The next time you see this, it will be complete, and I'll show you everything that we did to get it to where it's done. All right. Well, appreciate you guys watching, and go ahead and hit the like and subscribe down below, and we'll see you next time.